India is a country of beauty and extremes. It is the second most populous country in the world, while being the seventh in land area. India is the largest democratic country by population in the world by becoming a federal republic in 1950. It is a multilingual, multi-ethnic society that has grown from 361 million people in 1951 to 1.2 billion in 2011. The population is not the only thing that has grown. Its economy has greatly expanded also, to the point where India has its own space program that has successfully completed several extraterrestrial missions. In that time, its literacy rate has also improved, going from 16.6% to 74%. In spite of these great achievements, India still faces many issues. Issues like gender inequality, child malnutrition, human trafficking, and lack of education for the poor. Learning of the need, Asian Aid began working in India in the 1980s. Under Helen Eager's leadership, many successful projects were started that continue to be a blessing to hundreds of children through orphanages and schools. The organization has grown since then to the point where Asian Aid USA has changed its name to Child Impact International to better reflect its global mission. Regardless of the name change, India still holds a great deal of Child Impact's focus, as it is home to many of their projects. While this episode is too short to highlight each one, we will be looking at the main ways that Child Impact has and continues to positively change lives in India. The first focus is helping with the immediate basic needs of the children. Sunrise Children's Home provides orphans with a home-like environment where they have food and loving care. Beginning in 2001 with 3 children, it soon grew into the first institution that was entirely built and operated by Child Impact. Jim Rennie visited Sunrise when it was located in a small house. Seeing the need, Jim knew that he had to help.
One of the first places I visited was then the Sunrise Home, and it was located in a very, very small building. And I arrived late at night and all the kids were sleeping on the floor, shoulder to shoulder. And to be honest, it shocked me. And then I went back the next day and met the children. And I was just impressed that we had to do something. And I said, I've got to change this. I simply can't walk away and leave these kids in the condition that they were in. Then the church made it known that they had some rural land. And I'm just so excited that over a period of 5 years, that Child Impact International, along with the donors, was able to build Sunrise Home. It's an amazing facility that is now government licensed.
While Sunrise Home is fully owned and operated by Child Impact, they also work with many other orphanages like Aleem Home and Sunshine. It may seem like being alone on the streets would be the worst thing that a child could face, but there is another, even greater danger. Human trafficking is a threat that too many children in India face. Jim Rennie became acutely aware of this issue.
Over the years, as I visited India, Bangladesh and Myanmar, I became very aware of the number of children being trafficked. We've even had children disappear from our schools. They've gone home for the holidays and simply disappeared from the village. They've been trafficked. And the problem is huge. And I just felt the burden that we had to do something. We had to play a small part in helping rescue children from the various aspects of trafficking.
Seeing the huge need, Child Impact decided to partner with a non-governmental organization to begin to right the wrong done to these children. That partnership resulted in Operation Child Rescue. Operation Child Rescue not only rescues young women from prostitution, but also children from forced labor in factories and abandoned babies. Once rescued, Operation Child Rescue provides them with a place where they can heal and grow into their full potential. In order for all these children to reach their full potential, whether they are from a poor family, orphaned, or trafficked, they need to be equipped for the future. This is where Child Impact's main focus comes in, and that is education.
In a developing country, it's very hard to break the poverty cycle. And one of the key ways of giving a child a chance to break that poverty cycle is giving them an education. The reality is if they don't have that education, They're really locked into what's available back in the village, and the reality, not a lot. So the education gives them a chance of breaking out into a far better career, job, which once again impacts their family, because most of them do give money back to their family once they get a job.
Child Impact has made great strides in giving children an opportunity at education. They currently sponsor over 1,500 students in over 50 schools across India. While Child Impact is not directly involved with all of the schools where they sponsor students, there is one that they had a hand in its creation. That school is Emmanuel School in Jaipur, India. Helen Eager had a dream of building a school in the tribal region located in the Indian state of Odisha. Her dream became a reality with the help of Garwin McNeilis and his wife, Marilee, along with Maranatha volunteers and financial support from donors. The school opened in 2006 with a capacity for 700 students and offers an amazing opportunity for poor tribal children.
The tribal areas are very poor, and then you understand the benefits of the child being at Jaipur school. First of all, they have a bed. Back in the village, they sleep on the floor with a blanket. Secondly, they get fed. Many of these tribal families struggle because they're just farm labourers, or they're trying to eke out survival. And so when the kids are at the school, the parents know the children are fed. And thirdly, they get a tremendous Christian education. They have access to computers, electronic classrooms, and they get thorough teaching in all subjects, which is far more than they would get at the local government schools in these remote areas.
But it's not just poor children that Child Impact is offering an education to. It is also those who have a disability. In 2002, they built a school for the hearing impaired in Kolgal, India. The needs of deaf children are high, especially in rural areas, where they often face prejudice and discrimination. Having a school where they can learn skills that give them opportunities to have a choice in their career that they can pursue is critical. Then in 2003, Child Impact opened a school for the blind in Bubbly. This school especially helps the poor children in rural areas, who would otherwise be left to do menial tasks or even chained up at home. The School for the Blind gives them hope to have fulfilling jobs and lives.
To me, it's just wonderful to be able to do something for children like the blind and the deaf, to give them an opportunity to do something special with their lives for God, and an opportunity that, you know, coming from the villages and that they definitely would never have had without the fact that our schools have been built and sponsorship provided so that the children can attend.
These children who suffer from a disability know that they have a future where they are able to choose their employment. They are not a burden to their families, but are able to provide for not only themselves, but also their families. Child Impact gives hope to children in India, no matter their situation.
It's really tough in India, the poverty, the number of people, just the intense way of living. You have to fight for survival, and I guess it's just so enlightening to see the hope that we do give children who come from a poor village. And one of the things that's been a privilege in my job is to go and visit the homes where these children come from, to meet their parents. And often their parents are so grateful. They want to kiss your hand or your feet. They're just so, it's embarrassing, to be honest. But they are just so grateful that you, the sponsors, and our supporters are giving these kids an education.
It doesn't matter if the children are in a rural area, trafficked, or have a disability. They have a chance at a much better life, thanks to sponsorship. The education that sponsorship provides has opened the world up for them to go wherever God leads.
Two boys from Elam Orphanage and one from Sunshine Home, and about 8 or more girls from our Sunshine Orphanage who are nurses and who are living there and working in UK. And they have done very well, and they are, you know, I've visited some of them, and it's so nice to see them and to see them happy and really doing well because they were given an opportunity through sponsorship.
The work that Child Impact has done has made all the difference in the lives of thousands of children, due in a large part to high-quality education.
What's our future in India? Well, we are going to have to plan very carefully. I have to be honest with you that some of the mission school education is now dropping below a certain standard. And we have an obligation to ensure that our children get an education that's at least at government standard and at a government acceptable level. So we're going to choose very carefully what schools we take on and where we're going to operate in India so that we can probably do a little less but do it far more effectively. We will not drop any children, and we're very committed to the children we have. We're very committed to the special needs school. We're very committed to the orphans. But we just simply are going to have to look carefully at where we operate and how we operate and do it better.
Child Impact is committed to making sure that every dollar they receive is used in the best way possible, that every child in their programs will have the best opportunity available to them through education. Education that helps to address the many issues that India faces. It helps the orphaned, the trafficked, and the poor. This new generation has the chance to make a better life for not only themselves, but for those around them and their country. All this would not be possible without you, the sponsor. Thank you to all the sponsors whose sacrifices have changed so many lives in India and around the globe. The impact that you are having in this world can only truly be known in the world that is to come.
Sponsoring children in activities like these mission schools and opportunities is a tremendous way to help form the character of young people as they look to the future. They will never forget their association in a Christian environment, and by God's grace, many of them will become members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It is absolutely a powerful witness to sponsor a child in Child Impact and so many other organizations that help young people to find Jesus. Sponsoring a child not only has short-term effects, but it has a long-term effect. Sponsoring a child is investing in the character of a young person for eternity. We're taping this right here in Myanmar at the Myanmar Union Adventist Seminary. And about 1/3 of the students, or 1/4 of the students, are being sponsored by Child Impact. People who become workers in God's church, people who make an impact in the community, have been people who have been sponsored. Your sponsorship is absolutely an investment in the future of the church.
Hi there. Before you go, I'd like to invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'd also like to encourage you to watch some of our other videos highlighting Child Impact's work for at-risk and marginalized children.